Fill that in, because I might need it
You're-
for
you're-
notes.
So you
All
can,
right,
you can read along with me.
We are starting now.
Okay.
How's everybody doing?
Great, how about
Alright.
you?
Fine, you.
Good. All right. Neil is here. Good. I didn't even look up. So Neil, okay. Okay, attendance. We got that. Consideration of the GTV minutes from January
Call to
9th.
order.
Oh yeah, called it to order. I did. We're all here and ready to
yeah.
go. I only have one slight change. Actually, Dick pointed it out to me. Was the second page of the minutes. It says referring to Manchester Community Access Media. Was when we were talking. We were actually referring to Manchester Public Television, Manchester Community Access Media,
Okay.
Manchester Public TV. So Manchester Community Access Media doesn't exist anymore. So, but besides that, anybody have any questions about the minutes?
I know I was gonna print them off, but as I said, my printer's not working, and I couldn't open a couple of documents. I couldn't open your agenda notes or.
Okay, maybe did I send it to you guys in a PDF, right? Yeah, everybody got a PDF?
Usually I can, I don't know,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's probably
I
my
can open it.
computer.
Yeah, all right. Well, not having any changes, does anybody want to pass those minutes?
I'll do so.
Okay, second?
Oh,
Second, all right, all in favor? All right, there we go. Next on the agenda is report from Neil, Director's Report. So we'll just throw you in there.
All right, I didn't give a budget report because until we actually have the town meeting and there's a vote and so forth, we don't have a budget.
Oh, that's just the weirdest concept, running on a budget that doesn't even exist until you actually. So what happens? Let's just, for argument's sake, let's say, and I know it's kind of off the subject, but what happens if you had a department that only had one person, but the budget actually declares that it only has like $10,000 in it? Right now, it has like 70,000. Does it just stop right the next day after the budget, and they just keep paying them all the way up? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
It's weird. This doesn't make any sense.
We basically, if something breaks and you need it to operate, you replace it. And so I have spent about $1,000 out of,
You have encumbered funds as well, don't you?
not for GTV, do we?
No.
No?
No, we don't have any actual money in the kitty. So.
No, I meant for administration.
Oh yeah, for payroll. They've encumbered funds for payroll. Like that.
You have to specifically request to encumber funds and have the selectmen approve it, and that all
Right away.
happens in December or earlier or so. But I renewed our video on demand through Dick. I renewed our streaming through Discovery Video.
Yeah. Also, the video on demand with Dex. So did we look at explore other options, or we decided not to even go with that? And
We would explore other options now, but we'd be cut off as of January 1st if we didn't. So
how long did you renew?
and
month
I
to month
knew you'd
basis?
ask that as soon as I said we renewed. I think it's a 3-month.
3
I
months?
think it's quarterly. So
okay, so we can look at it in the summertime, and if need be, and that's what we want to do. Yeah.
When you renewed it, did you ask anything about putting stuff on in a timely manner or any other? I think there were some issues brought up last time.
Well, I think it's even in the
Yeah.
comments by David.
and
about
that's
some
part
issues.
of and that's part of what I was gonna
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
get to after finance.
Yeah, we'll listen to yours first, and then we'll ask questions. Go ahead.
The video streaming didn't work for the meetings Monday and the end of last week. And we had just had Dick in to look at it and fix it about 2 weeks ago. Well, it ended up, they forgot to invoice us in 2012,
Who did?
Discovery Video, for our streaming. So we'd been gone for a long time without having paid them, and they realized it and shut us off. But they'd never sent us
they never
an
told
invoice.
That's really nice. But okay,
So-
did they want us to pay back too, or like last year?
No, they haven't asked
Yeah, they
for
better not.
back money.
Not our fault.
So then Dick came in and, put in a new account and so forth, and we were working for about 2 weeks, and then we got cut off again because
okay.
they gave us a 2-week thing and
Advance
set
or
it to
something.
expire
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
And
Oh.
it wasn't fast enough for me to receive an invoice and pay it. So I called them tonight and they said, yeah, that's the problem.
So it's back on?
It's back on.
Oh, okay.
What kind of company is this?
Yeah.
This is my first experience
So it's
dealing with
back
them.
on and running?
So it's been through Dick
Yeah.
previous to this.
Is it just because there's nobody there to oversee it?
Right, if there's a
Essentially,
coordinator,
there's
they
nobody
probably
there
wouldn't
to
know all
oversee it.
about
But
it.
still, yeah, but it's still
Oh.
David would have received the invoice at
Right,
GTV if
right.
someone was receiving
He
the invoice.
hasn't.
Yeah, so that's the issue. It's nothing that anybody did wrong. It's just
Yeah.
Dick just did it by memory.
No,
Well,
well,
she was here. I would ask him. I'd
Dick-
say, Dick, did you do it by memory? But,
That's part of his business with working with other communities, so I think he may run multiple accounts with other communities, and I have a feeling they just never invoiced, and this might have happened in other locations too.
Huh,
So it wasn't a matter of one of us missing it or GTV not having a coordinator. I think this Discovery Video just never sent out
okay, well,
How long have
invoices.
they been in business?
Like I said, this is my first dealing with them.
Let me write this down and
see
Google
how long they
later.
are.
They were very friendly. They answered my question right away. It was easy to get somebody on the phone.
All right. If it works, and how much is it a year?
$300.
That's pretty good. It's
And-
pretty cheap. You can't beat that.
So the problem is solved, whereas we're back on.
And as I spoke with them, the invoice came to Town of Goffstown, Dick Gagnon, at 16 Main Street, and I asked them to change that to Neil Funky, put me on as your technical contact, as your billing contact.
Oh, good for you. So
So-
that all works out that came about. Okay.
It went to him to where?
It,
Over to
it went
school?
to Town of Goffstown, Dick Gagnon,
Yeah. So
which still, if it wanted to come in earlier like that, I still would have gotten it. But
That's
They never-
true.
once
Oh,
it
we
came
would
to the
have got
town,
it at the school if they had done it, what he usually has the address of.
right?
We
maybe
never
in the-
did,
Right,
because we open that mail, we don't throw it away.
right. That's what I'm saying is we
Yeah.
never.
Either way, though, it's
We never-
fixed.
Right.
So that's
never
good.
received
All
one.
right.
Okay, the TriCaster that we bought at the end of last year will be installed on February 27th, which is a Wednesday, and it'll be installed during the day, but that's school vacation week.
Perfect.
So I didn't even plan that on
Is that
purpose.
February 27th?
Yes,
And who's gonna be there to dance it through so they make sure
the
it works?
27th or the 24th?
27th.
Thank you. All right. Sorry, I misread.
Gary from the school will be there to make sure we can get in and have access to the school. And I will likely be there, and Brian Ray might be there, and Dave Suter will be there, and
And the installation person from Access.
Right.
Dave Suter can get you in the building.
Well,
you could too, but it's school vacation week, and I had called Gary just to make sure we'd have access, because I didn't know when the date would be.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary said, I'll make sure whenever you're getting the installation, I'll be there, and so,
because you want to hook up the IT aspect of it too, so you want to make sure the network's working on it and all that kind of stuff. So,
What time of the day is this gonna be?
1 p.m.,
is he
1
doing training
p.m.
at the same time?
I believe so.
Well, I suggest, just for your own thing, because I went through it with a different unit, the 455. Once the installation happens, which I'm assuming is just taking out the old one, putting the new one in, which will take about an hour. After that's done, I wouldn't stick around for the training practice. It's takes 3 hours, 4 hours for them to put it in. So
Well, who would be doing the training?
there's a gentleman from Access AV that does it part of the price. He sits down. David would be the person that would be sitting down, going through the training. So, or anybody who's going to use it.
You don't think it'd be worth my time to see how it works?
Yeah, actually, it would be worth. Yes. You're right. I apologize. Yeah. Now that I think about it, probably would be good for you to learn it, unless you intend to be using it a lot.
I don't
It's
intend to be
It's a
using it lot,
computer. It's
but-
literally just a computer.
Right.
But the software that you use on it is the video end of it. They teach you the video end of it. The computers, it's just a computer, so you're going to know that part of it already.
Now, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
With our VT5, I just set up Dave with dual monitors for that old computer. I believe Access AV has suggested I get one big monitor for the TC40.
Yep.
Is that
Well, we actually use two 24s.
okay?
So if you wanted to go with one big one, you can definitely do that. But two are actually better. But
I wouldn't already have two, so I'll
yeah.
keep it at two.
So what's the size of them right now?
They're two 24s.
Yeah, just keep the two 24s. That's perfect. Any bigger than that, you're talking
I think he was suggesting
Like a
like
wall-mounted?
132 or one.
like a wall-mounted giant one. That
Yeah, not even giant, just 32.
keep it simple.
Okay.
What do you have right now? David uses now already, and you don't need to have any more.
And then before we bought it, I thought we were going to need a workstation to do editing like the VT5, but this has it all built into the TriCaster, right? It's a computer itself,
It
and
is,
it
yep.
does everything it needs to do, so we don't need an extra workstation to man it, right?
No, you shouldn't.
Or
Shouldn't.
would you?
It's its own separate box, and it flows into the monitors, and then you just be able
Is
to.
this gonna interrupt anything else in the studio?
It says in Dave's email, but it's going to interrupt all of his previous show openings and closings and lower thirds
We have to
and
do the same thing,
studio setups and all that. But he knows that. He's prepared
No,
for that.
I know, he's preparing for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was just wondering how much it's going to interrupt me.
It shouldn't interrupt you downloading files from NHCCM or doing scheduling. Completely separate.
Yeah, he's gonna have to redo those opens and closes and lower halves completely, because we tried to export them from the same type of system and didn't happen.
Now, on a very positive note related to this, we paid $995 for software to do the green screen setups, the live sets, and Newtek is now offering a special: buy a TC40, get the software free.
Oh, so you got that reimbursed?
I contacted them and said, "Hey, we just bought this. Will you set us up?" And they're looking into it.
Good.
So it's possible we'd get a $1,000 credit back.
Nice. Yeah, even if it's a credit, it's still better than
Something's
nothing.
better than nothing.
Right. Well, not done.
All right. Not rushing you. Go ahead.
If I could read my writing. Oh, maybe I am done. Oh, one other thing. In the email from Dave, you'll see he's talking about a volunteer who he was really interested in trying to get. We talked a month ago about waiting on volunteers until we have a coordinator, so we have somebody to manage volunteers or interns or whatever you might have. So Dave's got great ideas and he's all excited about it, but it's something that needs to wait anyway. And then the other part is that he said it made it sound like once the volunteer knew that there was going to be a background check, he disappeared and ran away. Well, we certainly don't want anyone in the studio who can't stand up to a background check.
But you know when he was just talking about the gentleman, and Dave was kind of incensed that we were doing a background check. I said, "What do you mean? We all had background checks." He said, "You did?" I said, "Yeah, I had to go to the town, Concord, and they found out I don't have any fingerprints anymore. They had to lean on my fingerprint. Yeah, I don't."
I was never
And
asked
so-
for a background check.
No, you're a public.
No,
access.
you're
So, I mean, what's...
you're a producer.
Okay.
You're not a volunteer working in the school when there's a potential that you might be a hazard to the children. When actually where we're working, the children are a hazard to us. So anyway,
But
I
no,
don't
as a
care.
public access
That's-
person, you can't be turned away for.
Okay.
Right,
You
but
have to notify. You have to notify. You're supposed to notify. We require that you notify if you have any problems, such as child issues.
Exactly,
that
yeah.
You have to notify, so we make sure that nobody's in there. That at the
but
time.
maybe because David wasn't aware, David's reaction probably
Yeah, it was more.
interacted with this.
Most likely,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, but it's something that everybody has to do. You go
And
through the
that's
state,
at-
you
that's
go
at no
through the
cost,
state
right, to the
police.
individual, correct?
Not to the individual, I don't think.
It's cost
It's
to-
not much, is it?
It's $25.
Oh, I
think.
thought it was 10. Okay. Wasn't-
I was told it was 56.
It
And
could
F's,
be.
when I call RSVP to say, you know what, I've been checked all over the world, why do I all of a sudden have to pay this? And she said, "You don't, let me find out about it." She called me back and she goes, "No, the town will pick up that, and it shouldn't be 50, it should only be 20. But it turned out it was 50.
Today's union leader had an article about one of the towns having security background checks on somebody, and I think it was Mayor Gatsis looking for volunteers.
Yeah, for the computer lab.
And it said something about $25 for a check, so that's right.
Yeah, you do. You do have to go through that check. And if you volunteer for different things in town, you only go through Goffstown Police. But if you volunteer, like I volunteer for Meals on Wheels, I go into elderly homes.
Right.
I only had to go through Goffstown because that's where I was doing. But the school is government, so I had to go to Concord. It's different.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
That's all.
All right, cool. And then after that, on the agenda is, thank you, forgot mine, financial report, don't know it really, town information, Neil, anything while we had the budget, if you want to go through that, the budget hearing?
Deliberative session, nothing was changed. So
I went to both of them.
Oh, you did it at the school when you went to that one too, huh?
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
There was seemed to be lots of support for GTV.
Yeah.
Somebody got up and spoke, and
Yeah, exactly. This guy gets up for everything. You
The
guys should have
chairman-
seen it. He gets up there for the first one, and we're all sitting there going, "What's Brad doing?" And then Brad gets up there and he starts talking about something. Then he goes back down, and then he said, "I don't even know why he went back to the end of the room because he went back for the next
Right back up.
item. He was right back up there. Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? I just want to point out this little correction." So, and then of course GTV Brad gets up there again. So pretty much they should have had a podium for Brad on the side, huh?
Why
That's what
not?
they told me.
Yeah, exactly.
and for those of you who weren't there, Jason also went up and spoke
Dick,
about it.
Dick went up and
Supported it.
spoke. Brad went up and spoke, and I went up and spoke. Just to reiterate some specific points, so people at home, I was trying to gear towards more. I can't speak for the other two, but to the people at home, and Neil had to point out that I was talking too fast, so he told me that as I was leaving. But it was just more or less explaining to people at home that the vision of the Cable Access Board was to have a full-time person to take on responsibility of what's going on and to kind of steer the ship, to a specific destination. So
Oh, that's what I was doing. I was just speaking to the article and the value of it. Speaking of the article, this is the question that came up to me. Should the town budget fail and the article pass, how does that work?
actually works out.
It works out for
Yeah.
us.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. The only thing is if the town budget doesn't pass and the article doesn't pass, then it goes back down to 65,000 or
We don't
63,000.
want that.
Then it goes back to the same old, and be honest with you, whatever.
I think that's
I'm just
why I
gonna-
got up, because I was
Yeah.
concerned
Yeah,
about the fact that.
Yeah, if it goes back to that, then I don't, there's no way, because there's a lot of support. As I pointed out at our speech, if you went down the articles, very few of them had all 5 selectmen voted for it. All 14 members of the budget committee voted for it. Very few of the articles had that support, and trust me, the budget committee, reading some of their votes, every single one of those 14 people had an issue with some other article, and if it had anything negative fiscally to the town, somebody was going to say something, and nobody said anything. So I don't know. It's hopefully it'll pass, and we'll go on from there. So.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have, school information and action items. Let's go through, David Suter sent over, just so you guys know, the town, I got notified a little late, but I had to send a GTV report. I guess it was due like a month ago, didn't know I had to do it, and they finally sent
It wasn't
something.
that long ago.
For
Well,
what?
whatever, it was.
The annual report is done by the chairman.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I forgot. I don't remember doing it last year. I must have, but I think
No,
Dick did
Dick
it
did.
last. Yeah,
Dick did it last year,
So we
yeah.
didn't have somebody to do it last year.
Yeah.
So I did it and sent it out and kind of mirrored a little bit of what the IT department does and what Dick did last year with some numbers and so on. But that's where you'll see the summary that was sent to me on the bottom section here of the information sent by David Suter, just highlighting the number of programs, total hours. Channel 22 was 164 programs for the year, 2,904 hours of programming it played. Channel 16 was 497 total shows and 2,976 hours of playing time. He highlighted some new shows with Kingdom Chats in the youth booth, and then long-running favorites such as Cooking with Charles, New Hampshire Politics with John Bird, and Book Circle with Earl Wojenberg? But
Wagenberg.
Wagenberg.
Yeah.
So he highlighted also the kids, which I did a little bit in my report, adding their show to it, talking about the homeschooling program and then his hours of operation, and then also highlighted certain things that we hope to happen with the new coordinator. So that's what I sent out.
You looking under that, under action items? You're talking about Dave's thing?
No. The action items. Do we have anything action-wise? I don't believe we do.
None? Oh, so we're
So-
under new business?
New business, yeah. So I apologize. We don't have anything on the actions items anyways tonight because there's nothing really to vote on. So why don't we? Has everybody read this that was sent by David?
Yep.
All right. Is there any questions regarding what David sent, except for the section that we've already discussed with the person with the fingerprinting? But besides that, I like the
Well-
summer camp video idea that he has.
She's got a question.
Go ahead.
He talked about, probably this should wait till when the new coordinator comes, but talking about updating the producer agreement. So,
Oh, yeah, he says that he signs out a lot of stuff, and the producers, it's not accurate and complete, so he's going to make a little thing and
Well, that'd be
give it to us.
awesome. Okay,
You know, what he thinks should be on it.
Like a producer's package that could send out that
Kind
just
of,
circle the
right,
different
right,
things that they're
right.
getting, have them sign the date. And,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
we tried
Right
it.
now, it's very haphazard kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, go figure.
Also, I was talking to Dave too about, and he didn't know the answer. Perhaps you might. As a producer, when we produce a show, can there be a requirement that you should volunteer X amount of time?
No.
Per year.
Can't.
Can't do that.
No,
Okay.
you can't make a person volunteer. You can ask them,
Right.
but it's because it's their right as a Goffstown resident to.
Yeah.
And I'm going just by Manchester, but I'm 99.9%
Okay.
sure it's the same. They have a right to do a show. They can come in, do their show, and
Their
they
show.
can leave.
Or
They
even
can,
just bring it in.
yeah,
you know, yeah.
They don't have to help volunteer on other people's shows. It'd be nice if they did.
Or not. We're Dave and I
What
are
would
not
they
even volunteer
volunteer?
at other people's shows, but like help clean the studio, do a little painting.
Anything like that would be great if they did something like that, but
Yep.
you can't make them.
All right.
You can do that by I've seen some places.
Sending out a little blurb to all of the producers saying, this, we might need to do this,
Yeah.
can we
But
organize it or whatever?
Goffstown doesn't charge any dues, correct?
No,
Yeah, see, that's someplace we charge dues. Sometimes we offset when people can't pay. We say, okay, help us with this event, or help us do this, or something like that to make up the cost of
Dues in Manchester.
$100 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's $100 a year because we actually did that due to the fact that we were getting people coming in, and what they were doing was they would do one show and then they would show up 5 weeks later. They would say they were coming in, they wouldn't show up, and then the next week they would say they were coming in, wouldn't show up, and then they would show up on the fourth week, and so it came to the point where if you actually have somebody have some financial left, even though I'm not saying $100 is only $100, but when it costs, I've done the numbers many times, it costs us in 2 shows for staff members, electricity, and what
Right.
we use. At 2 shows, you use up the $100. It costs me about $2,500 a person for every single year to do their show.
Right.
So the money's not really the factor. It's trying to get their little horse in the race kind of thing, and have them involved. But that's what we do. So you really can't do that in Goffstown
Yeah.
because you guys don't charge it. So whatever. You have the question? 'Cause I
Yeah,
see
you look like you want to ask something.
thinking
Good
still.
thinking, hard.
I thought we couldn't charge anything because
Oh,
it
no.
was public, okay.
Nope.
That
Oh,
was-
no, you definitely.
I think there was always an issue of where the money would go.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a Friends of GTV, the money would go into the general
Or
fund.
revolving account.
We don't have one yet.
Yeah.
But we as
As long as it
yeah,
works.
because we're a nonprofit. What happens is
Yeah,
that
I knew there
yeah.
had to be something.
Every year I would put in my budget, so amount of money is what I need. Then I would put revenues would offset this amount, which is my access fees and DVD sales. And then at the end, it would be less the access fees and the DVD sales was what I would need for my budget, and that's what I would request. So this is my budget, my revenues, this is my total allocation. So that's how it works.
but that money goes to you,
Goes to-
not the town.
No, it goes to
See,
us.
our money would go to the town, and
Yes,
the way it
would.
stands this
Yep.
minute.
The way it stands
Right.
now.
Yep.
And that's what the
But
drawback
it-
every time.
But, well, see, you guys can't actually, there's no way for you guys to do it, but the actual way it is, what we do, it actually goes to the city because of the fact that it's $4,000 less we're charging them. So they would have to give us $4,000 more if we didn't do that.
Right.
So it is technically saving them money, but I found much more participation by public access producers, much more, they take it a lot more serious when they have to pay. And
I don't think GTV's there yet.
no, and
Yeah.
but it's that if you guys had that problem that we've had, then you know what, that's a great thing.
Exactly,
it's
it's the
not a
best
bad
problem
thing.
to have.
And
Right.
it also it stops. In our situation, we have 60 access producers, so active. So we have almost 100 signed up, but we have 60 that actually do shows and stuff like that, and drop off stuff on a bi-weekly or weekly basis, and. We were getting people coming in, signing and doing one show and then leaving, coming back, like I said, 6 months later. It was a pain in the butt because we keep them a time slot for them to
Oh, yeah.
play.
Right.
And then we would like to give it to somebody else,
Right.
but technically we have to keep it, but they would show up just like right before we were going to give it away. So it was unfair to people who were giving us every single week. We wanted to give them the time slot,
Right.
so changes. It helped us out anyways.
Right. All right.
I know it was very long.
A lot more to it than people realize,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, there's a lot of thinking involved, I guess. So besides that, in this,
I have
anybody
a
else? Yes.
producer-based question, sort of related to this. Those old community-based What's Happening shows,
Yes.
did they belong to the producer, or was she an employee at the time? So are they basically, do they belong to her? Or do
They
belong
belong to her.
GTV?
They belong to her estate.
So,
Oh, because she passed away, that's
right,
right. Yes,
so
yes, yes,
I
yes.
think Hank should be asked what.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes,
That would be definitely.
yes, it would, should go to the family first. If the family doesn't want it, then we could send it over to.
With
whoever.
VHS tapes, why don't we dump
You
them to
know,
like
I
a
don't-
DVD?
If you don't, how old are these tapes?
They're not that old. They're not that old.
But either way, though, can we at
She,
least?
I don't know, no, I can't remember the number that she's been there. How long has been Dick been, how long was Dick there?
17 years.
I just
It's
think it's nice if Historical Society put them on DVD because
I tell you right now, if they go over 10
Because
years, they're gonna have issues.
they almost came in the same time because they were running a newspaper at the same
Oh, I
time.
didn't know that.
Yeah, and they were running Goffstown News. They
No,
were-
I meant
the
I
two
didn't
of
know it
them.
was that, the show was that old, because I used to watch it.
Yeah, and,
be that
yeah. So anyway, they were running the newspaper at the same, together, and then they,
Somebody should be transcribing those onto MPEG files or.
That's-
or-
That's what.
But that's not our,
That's what I mean.
what
That's not our,
Actually,
No,
that's
that
up
would
to them.
be-
We can't do that if we don't own them.
no, but it would be, we would go talk to Hank, ask him,
Mm.
or whoever would do that, but then you donate them to the Goffstown Historical Society, and it would be them that would find somebody, not us.
Right.
Right, that's what I mean, like,
Yeah.
if we can get them onto DVD for them, have somebody from the Historical Society come in with Dave and learn how to do it, and
Yeah,
Right.
we would just, whatever.
That would have to be the way.
I wouldn't
because
get too deep.
If they just go eventually to the Historical Society, I'm afraid they get lost.
No, they're gonna get
No,
lost.
they won't get
but it's-
lost.
But the
Yeah.
VHS tapes don't last forever, I can tell you.
That's why I'm saying-
It's the warp, because of the oil on
dump
them.
them to
Yeah,
DVD
you
so
gotta-
that they can
Yeah.
last a little longer.
SVHS are
You know,
thicker and they're better tapes, and those things only last 15,
How many, you
20
said she
years.
has 100?
That I know.
By the time.
he has 100 of them, right.
Yeah, it's gonna
We
take
have,
a
we
while.
have the equipment, don't we, to transfer them over?
You can.
At one time we
They're
did,
still
I
selling
know
them,
when they
which I think
changed
they are.
everything.
For about $80, you can buy a unit that's got a VHS tape and a DVD burner, and you put the tape in and you hit
Right over.
record, and it burns it.
And again, that's something with the Historical Society to
Right.
have somebody sit there and do it and make the DVD look
So-
pretty for the package.
You know, when Dave was looking into this, I don't think he thought about, maybe Hank would like the first crack at it.
So can, Neil, I don't think we need to make a motion, can you just ask?
Sure.
To send it over to Hank first. If Hank doesn't want them, then send them over to the Historical Society.
I'm sure he'd be
Yeah,
more
I'm
than
sure,
happy to do
yeah,
it.
I'm sure. he would. All right. Okay, besides that, anybody else with any questions regarding it?
Surprised we still have them. I thought they dumped stuff after a certain amount of years.
No,
Dick didn't get rid of anything.
Dick kept a lot of stuff.
Files,
No, I haven't.
then,
They found Hoffa's body somewhere
I
in
don't-
that studio.
yeah, I don't dump anything.
Oh, gosh.
All right, so,
Or if I do, it's very slow and selective.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
all right, well, having no other, anybody else have new business?
The only thing is I imagine the town of Goffstown will be talking about our article. I'm talking about the 2%, our special article for GTV. They'll probably do a pretty nice write-up in their little newspaper thing that they sent people's homes. But I don't know if we wanted to do a letter to the editor. Did we really should.
Okay.
You should, as chair.
I don't know about that.
I do.
Yeah, I know, yeah, listen to you.
When we talked about that in
Yeah, we did.
last month or the month before, I think we kind of agreed that there's so much support for it. We don't want to confuse anything with.
That's,
I don't agree with that.
see, I don't know, I don't mind having led it to the editor, but I think it's, I don't know, I'm just worried about crafting it myself, and I don't know if I'll have.
It's
I'll
It's gonna
come
be
up- come up with-
explained in that letter that the town
And
sends
it's got
out.
unanimous support.
That's, you just addressed that.
I don't know.
I don't like to take anything
For granted,
for
yeah.
granted. I don't. I mean, we
So-
can't assume that the voters are going to vote a certain way. I mean, I hear people that always say, I'm voting no on everything because blah, blah, my taxes are too high. And so they're going to go down and they're going to vote no on everything. I don't want them to vote no on this.
Right.
You know, it's
Aren't those who are looking to vote no matter what anyway?
no, not necessarily.
I don't know.
But if we put a comment in there, it means that we're aware of what's going on and we would like to have the support as a committee. We should do something.
That's why I got up and spoke to the article. Hopefully we had viewers.
Well, I'll move that Pam writes up an article to send to the editor, and then we don't even have to, it doesn't need to really send it out to us, if she understands all the topics that we need to do.
I
Well,
want it to come from the committee. I don't
Okay,
want it to come from
then you need to send it
Pam
out individually. Send back any corrections you would like to her. Do not send it to everyone, okay? Do you
Right.
understand what I mean? If you send it out to everyone, then it has to be part of the full meeting. You have
Oh,
to.
I see,
You
so,
have a correction for what she sends you, send it back to her individually.
Do not reply to all.
Exactly.
Okay.
right, not,
Yeah.
right,
She
right,
will send it all, just do not reply to all, please.
right.
And then then the final version, yeah, and then but it'll be from the GTV
Right.
Yes,
committee.
correct.
Right.
For those of you that can't make the meeting, good for you.
So I'll make that.
Put it in real layman's terms. I mean, we know what the article says, but when you read an article, lots of times,
Right.
it's like, what
Very-
does this read?
What I would, how about if everyone just sends me what their thoughts are, what like a one-word.
When is it due by?
What, me, it's all about economic development and how GTV can benefit us in that aspect. And realtors should be thrilled, I mean, because you just need to get out there and have folks know what our town's all about.
And I'm definitely more of expanding education.
See, there you go.
programs,
So if everyone could probably just send me their own blurb about what they think GTV's all about, and I can incorporate
Yeah,
everyone's
if-
thoughts.
Even if it's a paragraph, just a paragraph of what your biggest
Yeah.
thing about it, you know. Because Charles, I'm not speaking for you, but maybe it's about public access and trying to increase the.
Exactly,
That's
because
just it.
programming
My bent is different than
Yeah.
your
And that's
bent.
what
or- yeah.
and that's the point. I
Right.
need to have
Right.
everyone's thoughts, then I can combine it all.
It's a good idea. A very good idea.
You
What-
said viewers, I know viewers that watch.
No, I was saying education access. I was just, I want that to be.
No, I meant before you said it. Before you said something about, we don't know the viewers, and I do know viewers.
Barbara, are we allowed to even put on there, well, I guess we probably can't say on the bulletin board, please
What?
vote yes on article.
No.
Just checking.
No, the only, let me put it this way. You could word it so that it is a public announcement.
Yeah.
You can word it that way. But if it's
Describe what it would mean, what the amendment would mean if it were passed. If this amendment were passed, then this and this would happen. It was very factual.
That's too
Famous.
close to politics.
Yeah, because
I don't know, that's why
No, I think it's a good question, but you know, but I really wouldn't go down that avenue.
No, if you wanted to.
that's too.
Right, if you could do it as a public announcement of, you know,
Trust me, I
we
like
want-
politics, but I don't want to go down that road. So.
yeah.
No, that's why I'm asking, because
No.
it's good to vet it out. Okay, so I will write a letter, but I will wait.
He asked, when does it due?
What does it do?
When is election day? March?
March
12th.
12th.
March
12th.
12th. So we want to file like.
Tuesday.
Thank you. March 12th.
You need to, speak to the editor anyway of the Goffstown News, right?
I'm only doing a letter to the editor.
Okay, just let it.
I'm not, because people read the letter to the editor. I'm not doing an article.
Right,
I'm
right.
gonna
That's
do a
the
letter.
first thing I turn to every
Yeah.
week. It's like,
So-
okay,
I mean,
let's.
March 12th, so the prior Thursday, they come out
I-
on, did they come out on Thursday? Not
Yeah.
always.
Is that on Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. And so I'll get it the week before in case they have a lot, so we won't miss the last
The
one.
only reason I ask that is sometimes when I go to Hanford, like later or at night on Thursday, there's nothing in the rack.
I know.
Right,
Sometimes they're a little late, so, but, okay, so March 12th, and I'll go home and do some research on that, and I'll be looking for a blurb, and just like when we
So
used to.
by the end of the month, you need the blurb so you can get to them in time to.
I'm good.
Okay.
Remember, this is February, short month.
I know.
Right.
Anything else?
Anybody talk to John Bird about it? I mean, he does have a show on politics, and he has an interest in the public access.
Right,
So people who watch the show will probably be people who are going to vote on it.
yeah.
So if somebody would
That's a
talk
good
to him
idea.
maybe in the show.
We could actually do our own show,
Good.
to tell you the truth. I mean,
Yeah, Charles, cooking with Charles. we could have a sit down.
yeah,
Cook with
okay.
Charles. Today we're not going to cook. We're just going to
Hey,
talk.
what the-
No, actually, he could cook and we could be the audience and
That would be
discuss
kind
it.
of nice.
oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that sounds like fun.
And,
You're gonna see this, right?
Yeah, by all means.
because I know a lot of elderly that watch the Channel 16 and 22
Right.
at night, and when they're home, and
let's-
especially in the wintertime.
We can discuss.
And
that
they always
after
talk
the
about Charles's show.
Okay, we'll
and they-
discuss it after the meeting,
yeah,
figure out
the
what
other
we can do.
shows.
I get a lot of emails from older people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, people just like your cooking.
meeting.
Yeah. No,
All right.
personality too.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Anything else? We good? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All in favor? Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and please, everyone.